It has recently come to my attention that some of you believe that I am a relatively organized person, to which you would be correct. Most of the time, or some would be more accurate. Because this is an example of why home decor is important, systems are important, and ADHD sucks. Allow me to explain. I was feeling particularly overwhelmed by all of the mess that was surrounding me, because while I am capable of just putting things back where they belong, that is exactly the opposite of what I will do. Because apparently it doesn't matter what one side of your brain knows. The other side, the one that's responsible for action, ignores it. I decided to pick up the camera to help me hold myself accountable so that I can actually get something done today. My main objective is to empty my dishwasher so that I can load my new WEC jars in there. The time is about 12:20-ish. 12:25, I think, to be exact. And I'm gonna start off with what I think is the easiest task. It's just putting away what's already clean. And something I would normally cut from the video is this. I always film with natural light, but in the spirit of full transparency, it's a partially cloudy day, which means light is going to be completely inconsistent. 1 second it could be warm, but in a matter of seconds, the minute that sun hides behind a cloud, the scene immediately goes cold. So you're about to see just how often this happens and how much it drives me crazy. I removed anything that was recyclable. Now I'm going in for a second wave to remove everything that doesn't belong in the kitchen at all, which means cue the bin. This is my answer to everything. Since I struggle with executive function, organizing things in my brain, it just, it don't work. So off the kitchen counter, I've grabbed some nail stuff, which I'm then going to move to the couch. So this is normally when I would go around the entire room and scan for items that belong in this group so that I can then put it in this basket. And what do you know, there's literally already a basket here with nail stuff in it. So I guess we'll just group those together. Now I just put that aside to deal with later, because that makes sense. So back to carrying off the kitchen counter, but then I realized it's too quiet in here. So I grabbed the remote and I did this. When you're already overwhelmed, minor inconveniences absolutely send you. So at this point, I was trying not to have a breakdown. Therefore, I had to sit down and take a moment, a couple of breaths, a woosah, and I got distracted. I got on my phone. I checked my emails, but I got back on task eventually. And I grabbed another bin, this time to grab everything that belongs either in a cupboard or a pantry, and continued putting dirty dishes in the sink. So naturally, at this point, I wanted to wash the dishes, but now I can also see the countertops. Look at that. But I said, no, continue what you're doing, please, focus. So the clearing of the counter continued. But that small win of quickly putting things away was short-lived because this happened. Not paying attention to the fact that I was setting it on a damp towel resulted in rust. Now that's another thing that I need to add to my to-do list while simultaneously in this moment not beating myself up about having done it in the first place. Insert anxiety with a side of chest pain. So let's just continue. I'm gonna put away this French press, but first, oh wait, I have to move this out of the way. Why is that even there? That's there because I was also organizing my bedroom, which I did, of course I didn't finish it. Everything's where it's not supposed to be and nothing is where it should be. But let's just take a second to appreciate that all of this is where it should be. I recently made some sugar wax, so I gotta put the sugar back, and also mental note, buy more sugar. And it was at this point that I also remembered I have not eaten anything, which is a bad combination. So that would explain my frustration earlier, or really any of my symptoms today. Breakfast break, even though it's technically lunch. And even though that's a little bit better, I'm still kind of upset about that pan. It's moments like this where you're just like, how long would it have taken you to just put that back where it goes? But you want to know something? It doesn't have a place to go back to. That's why I said it there. And that is what I mean when I say that home decor and systems are important. Because that something not only has to have a home, it has to have the most convenient home for you to use it within your systems. And that is why I'm always reorganizing my organization. Was that an adequate breakfast? Probably not. If I was hoping for a pick-me-up, didn't help. I usually drink coffee when I want to take a nap. If you know, you know. And that's why I was so surprised that matcha actually works.
Take it away, feeling too good to me. Chilling all day, all in your space is where I wanna be. Here in this room, what did you do? I just can't get enough. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like home. Yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone. Yeah, you're the reason I'm going out my mind. I just can't stop thinking about you. All that I crave when you're away, nights are sleepless. Do we need space? Yeah, maybe a break. Boy, you're my weakness. Give and we take, the love that we make, it's my favorite drug. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on.
You'll notice that I'm cleaning some enamelware, but in a second, I'm about to realize it's not. Nope, because once I'm finished doing these dishes, or shall I say, at a good stopping point, when I went to go dry them, which again, new activity. Who dries dishes? Not me. But I thought if this is ever gonna look like it's actually clean, might be a smart idea. I noticed like it just wasn't smooth. Also, side note, I didn't realize until watching this video just how much of me washing the dishes is just like me rinsing off my own gloves. And like I do it before I even rinse the dish. I think it's so that I have a grip, so that I don't like drop the dish and therefore like form this habit subconsciously. Have I actually done that before? Have I like dropped a dish and broke it? I'm sure I have. So maybe like PTSD.
I just can't stop thinking about you. I just can't stop thinking about you. I just can't stop thinking about you.
This is me pausing to like evaluate if I actually want to continue. Batteries are running low. So normally when that happens, what you should do if you want to continue doing anything is just like switch course, move on to something else. You can always come back to that thing later, but forcing yourself, that will always have the opposite effect of what you wanted to do. You will shut down and then you won't do anything. So as I mentioned before, do I normally dry dishes? No, but if you let moisture just like sit in these grooves and stuff, it can rust. But in order to dry dishes, you know you need a cloth. And those, of course, are not underneath my sink, but I am pretty sure they're in the dryer because my photographic memory told me so. So let me just like move this someplace else that is equally as inconvenient, but sort of out of the way. And I do in fact have towels in here, so awesome. Don't like take one or anything though, just unload all of them, dump those onto the couch. Yeah, great spot for that. Now is when I am finally noticing, and as I predicted, I needed to go into the hallway closet to get the baking soda. And for good measure, I always like to follow up with vinegar because it's going to neutralize the baking soda. If you have any residue left, you won't notice it until after it is dry, which looks like this. And by the way, everything that I'm using cleaning wise will be linked in the description box, as well as if you're ever curious about just like any of my dishes, utensils, cookware, all that stuff is always linked on my blog, and that'll also be linked down below. Huge thank you to Squarespace because I use them to host it. So if you have any need for a domain, you can use their app to create a bio site and have that be your landing page to navigate people wherever you want them to go. If you offer services, you can even use Squarespace to schedule your clients, an e-commerce store if you sell products, or even set up a website to act as your portfolio, and of course, run a blog. So the options are endless. Wait, did I mention you can also do newsletters too? And you can get a discount with my code abetweene, or just head to squarespace.com/abetweene to get 10% off. But if you recall, you may have noticed this, which seems really insignificant at the time, but you want to know what that led to? Dripped all over the floor. And like I was saying before, you don't notice it until it dries. Yet again, adding to my to-do list. Like at this point, are we going forward or backward here? Because at this rate, I'm never going to be done. Oh, and my battery's low, but I remember seeing that on the couch too. I am actually prepared this time and can continue filming. So the time is now 2:26 and I am still cleaning, but I've made some progress, I think. Multiple hours now and the surface still isn't clear. So to hopefully fast track this process, I'm gonna take the remainder of the dishes that I didn't finish. Honestly, I thought that this was clean stuff, and so part of me is really grateful that I don't have to unload it. I can just chuck more stuff in there and keep moving. Oh look, more stuff to clean. Not to mention the cabinets. Oh my God, should I clean that? Because I'm now noticing it. But I still need to clean off the counters and the cooktop. And the lights are going out again. The stuff on the floor. And I just noticed that I spilled my coffee from earlier. What do I do first? I just realized this isn't waiting to be put away. I was supposed to clean this. This is dirty. But you know what? This sink is disgusting. So before I put anything else in it, let me clean it real quick. It was at this point that I remembered that I've been meaning to get in the crevices of this sink, and I actually bought a new brush from Muji when I was in New York, so let me go grab that. I actually got quite a few things that I need to wash too. So you know what, I might as well just chuck that in before I forget again. So I'm gonna grab a pair of scissors so that I can cut off the tags. Oh, let me pick that up. But then cue the lights. So I now have to pause to adjust the camera setting so that it's not blown out. And honestly, this picture could look better, but you know what? That's okay for now. And here we go again. You know what? I quit. I almost gave up, but I got to see it through, my boy. So I just changed the camera settings again. Bruh. Once again, this is the real behind the scenes. I don't know what it is about this sink, but these corners are sending me. I've been meaning to address this. I decided to just like grab my other toothbrush because I was pretty sure that the bristles didn't meet the tip. So hopefully I could get into the crevices. And then I even used an abrasive on top of that. Still, I wasn't satisfied. So then I went in with the cleaner that I use for my stainless steel like pots and pans. Still hated it, but you know what? At least at this point I was confident that it was clean. I have to get into all the details, so I'm also going to take this out, which I've been meaning to give a deep clean, but I ain't got time for that now, so I'm just going to scrub that too. To be fair, it's mostly discoloration, so I promise it's not as gross as it looks. Okay, so now I need to do laundry, put this away, clean the floors, the stove, the countertops, the cabinets, and now this is the state of the counter because, oh yeah, I need to wash this stuff. It's worse than when I last checked in. Now that I'm looking, it does actually look good. Guess I'll just put these back on. Time check, it is now 3:05. But I can't put my gloves on just yet because I've got to take off stickers. So if you saw my last video, you might remember I was looking for measuring spoons. I was gonna go for a couple of the options that you guys suggested. I just happened to see these when I was in New York, so I grabbed them. This is the only ones that they had, but honestly, this is enough. Like, do we really need more than a tablespoon and a teaspoon? Probably not. And because I learned my lesson the first time, I'm feeling for texture, of which there is definitely some, so baking soda it is. That got the job done, but I am seeing some discoloration. So I'm going in with a cleanser specifically designed for enameled cast iron. And again, cleaning it for good measure, because why is this even necessary? I don't know what's in that enamel cleaner. As you can see, the consistency is like really different. So I'm just making sure there's no residue. And time check, it is now 3:25. Now I was finally getting the counter clean. So after I put away the pantry items, I repurposed that bin to put these bags into, which means they can finally go to their intended location, the bathroom. And oh look, there's already a basket here. So as you can see, I really do use this system a lot because it really does help with managing clutter. Despite the state of my place right now, it could actually be so much worse. Like it helps. And I'm gonna put this in the oven because yeah, that's a problem for another day. Now, I'd be lying if I say I remember how the stove got like this. I don't. It was baking soda all in this little crease right here. So I poured some vinegar over it, which technically you do not want to do on quartz, but I'm going to be cleaning it right back up. And no, this is not a special nozzle. I just broke it. Normally, it would look like this, making do with what I got, trying to repurpose instead of discard, because usually you'd be surprised what you can reinvent by just being a little crafty. And I also use vinegar to clean any glass surface or stainless steel surface in my house, and it is diluted with water. You will notice that it can look really streaky, particularly when you use like a lot of it. But trust me, it's fine. Again, it's just because it's oversaturated. So what you want to do is take a dry side of your towel or a different towel and just buff it. Immediately, it goes away. And finally the counters are clear, but the floor is not. So let's do something about that. And in that little sequence, what you didn't see is the fact that I actually paused to remove the sticker because it was bothering me. I had to go. And in the process of me moving things from the floor and the surrounding area so that I could mop, I broke this plate, which I never had the chance to even use yet. So needless to say, I was really mad at myself. I'm gonna try to glue it back together and just like repurpose it, but that hurt. That one hurt. And in the short time that it took me to load the washing machine, the floors are basically already dry. So the time is now 4:20. Yes, it took me 4 hours to clean only a portion of my apartment, but for today at least, that was cleaning with me and my ADHD.